Husky fans, welcome into another episode of NIU Weekly. I'm Andy Garcia, alongside the Associate Vice President and Director of Athletics at NIU, Sean T. Frazier. And Sean, it's great to be back with you. Another episode, another opportunity for NIU football to get back at home, take on Maine, get back in the win column.
Absolutely. You know, it's a great time. Again, having fans in the stands, having a chance for the fans and the fan base to see our Huskies. This is what it's all about. Really excited about that, and just can't wait. Just can't wait to get it going.
Yep, Huskies are back, taking on Maine to close out the non-conference schedule. It's Band Day on Saturday. Also, Rally Towel giveaway on Saturday. Tickets available on sale. 815-753-PACK. 815-753-7225, or go online niuhuskies.com/myhuskies. Mini plans, even season tickets still available right now. Go online. And Sean, you guys have had this plan for the new fan experience, new just additions to make it easier for fans after the first game. And I know there's a whole bunch of bullet points that you want to discuss, but all in all, it's for the fans to have a better experience than what they saw last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago at Husky Stadium.
Yeah, it's a little bit of shaking off the rust. It's a little bit of logistical nightmares due to COVID, staffing shortages. So it's a perfect storm, unfortunately, that we had on our home opener. But again, our staff have been extremely resilient. Our food service providers have stepped up. We've got a comprehensive plan that we did release to the public. And we wanted folks to know, okay, I know we had shortcomings, but we're also quick to make sure we make those course corrections and get after it. So I'm excited about it. I'm going through several walkthroughs and such, and port of sale, point of egress. There's a number of factors that go into our building, because our building is an older facility. And it does have some challenges. There's pinch point areas where we have traffic and different things like that. So we can't just do the normal thing that maybe it works at other places. So we got to step it up. But the good news is that we have, and we will. I'm looking forward to seeing folks in those particular areas myself, and a number of our senior staff will be placed, as well as others, to make sure things go well. So if you look me in my good eye, we will, that's over here, by the way, Andy. We will get after it, and we will make those corrections. So I'm excited. Thanks a lot for the patience for Husky Nation, and I appreciate the support.
Yeah, the key ones really are you can bring in a sealed plastic water bottle, smaller than 17 ounces. All the water fountains will be functional, operational in the stadium. More of the concession stands will have credit and cash. But again, those are all outlined online, and as Sean has said, they understood what happened. They've done what they can. You'll see all the improvements coming up on Saturday at Husky Stadium. And also, don't want to forget, too, you have to wear masks in all required indoor areas, including the concessions, restrooms, and premium areas. Again, we have to take care of each other, Sean. That's why we're wearing the masks.
There's no question about it. You wear your mask. I've got it really close by, sitting right here. You know what I'm saying? I don't go any place without it. COVID is not over. Folks are still being hospitalized. There's also issues. We have to make sure that we keep people safe, and we will do that. So please, if you're asked to put your mask on, it's fairly simple. We're trying to protect you and the folks around you. So we appreciate your cooperation.
2 good guests today. We're going to start with Dan Jackson, NIU football pass defense coordinator, cornerbacks coach, special teams coordinator. So Dan wears a lot of hats. We're going to talk to him about that with NIU football, and also talk to the new cross-country head coach at NIU, Jamie Moreno. They're going to join us on NIU Weekly. But first things first, let's talk a little football. We were joined by Dan Jackson. He's got many hats, many roles with NIU football. Pass defense coordinator, cornerbacks coach, special teams coordinator. But we're going to talk to him about all that. And Coach, it's great to have you on.
I'm excited to be on with you guys. I appreciate it.
Now, talk about your different roles and how you to kind of spread yourself out and be able to maintain all those roles and do what you want to do.
The more you can do, the more valuable you are. And I just want to bring as much value as I can to the program. I appreciate Coach Hammock trusting me with so many different, roles and job opportunities. And so really starting with the pass game coordinator, that's a new role for me where I'm able to get a little bit more hands-on with the coverages and the entire secondary, and get those kids on the same page and playing fast, and have more input in game planning meetings and those things. And so that's kind of what that role entails. And working with the corners, we got a young group, a talented group. So, it's fun coming to work every single day, and really being able to mold these kids as freshmen, and a couple sophomores, and be able to see them grow every day. So, love working with those guys and developing them. And then, the special teams is such a big part of, the success of a football team that sometimes gets, overlooked, maybe by fans and those that haven't been around the game. But I love that opportunity working with Coach Nick McKissick-Luke, who I've known for a long time. It's pretty special for us to be able to reconnect here at NIU and work with special teams together.
John?
So Coach, talk to me a little bit about your young group of cornerbacks, just where they are in their maturation process, their development, especially over these last 3 games.
Yeah, so really, Eric Rogers, is a guy that came in last year as a true freshman, and he had some COVID issues, and he was banged up, so he didn't play much, and we would have liked to get him some reps, in the fall. So he's really going through his first game reps right now. But he has grown a ton. He's put on 15 pounds of muscle in the offseason. He really flashed in the Georgia Tech game in terms of physicality. He made 7 tackles and 44 snaps before, he kind of started cramping and things. But he's a violent kid, physical, confident, super athletic. In really areas he needs to improve on are finishing at the ball, balls in the air, and truly going to make the play. And that's going to come through confidence, and that's going to come through just added reps and growth. So I'm proud of Eric. Miles Mcgee is a guy that, to be honest with you, I mean, he's grown, as much as anybody that I've coached. But towards the end of fall camp, he was a little banged up, so we haven't seen him in game action yet. But he will be back, soon for us. And then Javon Byrd's a true freshman from Milwaukee that has all the physical tools. Didn't play a senior season because of COVID, so he didn't actually get any games in. So he hasn't played football in 2 years, but we're getting him coached up and getting him out there. And he played 20 snaps last week, so he's doing a good job. And Jordan Gandy's a guy that I can rely on. He's still young, but he's played the most football, and so we can count on him as a returning all-conference player to make a bunch of plays for us and lead the group.
And I know what you guys have worked with the quarterbacks of getting. You guys have gotten taller. When first Coach Hammock and you guys came in, you had some younger and some smaller guys. You guys have gotten some height in those cornerback positions, but also some speed too. You guys are developing what type of cornerback you guys are wanting to see in this defense.
In recruiting, I mean, length, fluidity, speed, movement. We want football players. We want guys that want to be physical and have a feel for the game. But no, length is such an advantage as a corner. And it's truly arm length. It's not necessarily wingspan. I mean, it's being able to stick out and poke and punch receivers and keep some space from them there. And then being able to high point a football. We're going to get challenged vertically. I mean, we play a lot of man coverage, and we need those guys to hold up on an island for us out there and be able to do that. And so their arm length in terms of the finish part of it is huge from that standpoint. And then speed, some everybody, we want guys as fast as you can get them. But I really like, to be honest with you, I like the group because they do have good speed. But Coach Juni and our strength staff do such a good job. Their build is also one that as they gain weight and strength, they'll just get faster. Some guys, they add weight and strength, they maybe get tighter. These kids are real loose and fluid, and just, they're a fun group to coach. I want to get better every day, and they push each other. It's been awesome.
Your role in the special teams, talk a little bit more about that and expand on that, because yes, it is part of this, you get the offense, defense, and special teams, but what you're trying to develop in the special teams.
Yeah, so really what Coach Nick and I want to do, we want to have simple schemes that are adjustable. So, special teams, though Coach Hammock puts a ton of emphasis on it, more than any other head coach that I've been around. He understands the importance of that game. So, but we want to keep it simple because you still get limited time compared to the offense and the defense. So, we spent all summer teaching them situational football because we wanted to improve there, and then getting in our base schemes, throughout fall camp. And then truly week to week being able to move a guy here or do a different shift or a different formation that's simple for the kids, but maybe complex for our opponent. And so we want to be great in our techniques and our effort and our physicality. And truly special teams comes from the success comes from all the kids being bought in and having a desire to be great. And we have that now. I mean, our kids, I mean, every guy we have 70 guys in our special teams meetings, and those guys are locked in and they're asking questions and they're bringing notepads, and our players understand the value of special teams. And so I particularly work with the kickoff and the punt return units. And then, Coach Nick does the punt team on the kickoff return. But, we had worked together and we had a lot of the same core beliefs. So we really, he and I kind of combo really all of it together in terms of the organization.
Sean?
Yeah, you had mentioned the recruiting, and obviously, I've been here a while now, so taking a look at body size, types, length, things of that nature. Talk to me what you like the most about recruiting, and then specifically bringing this group in and being involved with that process, and what you're trying to accomplish with the size, speed, and technique.
Yeah. So first, to answer your question directly, what do I love most about recruiting? I love it because it's an opportunity for me to get to know somebody else. And I tell kids when I recruit them, I'm not recruiting you. I'm going to invest in you and I'm getting to know you. I want to connect with you. And that's, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I believe in what we're doing here passionately. And I believe in Coach Hammock and I believe in our leadership. And so, when I tell a kid I'm going to recruit them, it's, hey, I'm getting you the information and I'm going to tell you what it is. But I'm not going to sell you something. So when you get here, it's not what you think. And so, I'm going to first identify toughness and mental toughness and guys that want to learn and guys that love football. I think a lot of guys get caught up and coaches get caught up in recruiting talent, and they don't realize that mental toughness is a talent and work ethic is a talent and just passion for the game. And so, to answer your question, those are the things that I look for outside of the physical attributes. And then when I turn on a corner's film, the physical attributes, to me, 5'11" and bigger, in arm length of 75 inches. We have all these measurements. You'd like to see a guy run 4.6 or faster. But when I truly watch a film, I want to see a guy that can move and bounce around like a cat. He's got those movements with his balance. And then when he runs, it's just smooth turnover and it's not choppy at all. And then ball skills. A lot of guys make fun of DBs for not having great ball skills, but such an advantage, to recruit a guy that has ball skills and has been a receiver maybe and can catch the ball that way. And then when they come in, I got into coaching because of player development. I truly love every single second of taking a guy that you recruited, coming in, him not knowing what he can be yet, has no idea how good he can be, and then instilling the confidence and belief and technique and even through failure. Like I tell our young group right now, I tell them all the time, like, guys, I've coached multiple guys that play in the NFL. As true freshmen, they were no good, and they would tell you that.
Appreciate the time, Coach. Thank you for everything, and good luck on Saturday versus Maine.
I appreciate the time.
From football to cross country, we're joined by the Huskies' new head coach, Jamie Moreno, who's been on campus, about a month, Coach? And you had to get a roster and get the schedule set up and get going. Welcome to NIU. First things first, how's everything been going?
Things have been going so good. Pretty good so far. Those first couple of weeks were a little bit of a challenge with trying to figure out where my office was and how to get logged into my computer and get practice going and stuff like that. But things have been going pretty good. I think I'm finally starting to feel a little bit settled in and with things and the team. So thank you.
Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, well, welcome, Jamie. Obviously, having you here, a big get for us. Maybe tell us a little bit about the team. Coming off of a MAC championship. What's new, what has to be developed. A lot of things going on. So just let's take it basic and just fill us in on the squad itself.
Yeah, for sure. So, obviously, the team having a big year last year, with winning the MAC championships, and of course the year before just missing out on the team title and stuff. So, coming in, I knew that we had a pretty good tradition that had been set up over the last few years with Coach Myers, and but I also realized we lost a handful of key pieces to that puzzle and stuff. So, obviously losing a couple of front runners there has been a little bit of a challenge to replace, and then also some depth on the back side. So, we started this season with 10 women on the team. I think there was probably close to 17, 18 last year. So definitely lacking a little bit of the depth that we've had over the last couple of years, I see. But I'm excited. I think the team this year is kind of made up with, some returners and a few key returners that were a big part of those two last MAC, races the last couple of years and the championships last year. And then we have a few individuals that, weren't really necessarily a big part of that on race day, but are healthy and have worked really hard over the summertime. And I think can move right in there and hopefully fill a little bit of those voids that are in with the team and stuff like that. So we have 10 working pretty hard right now, and I'm excited, and I just love the atmosphere and the energy that they have right now.
You guys have already had a couple of competitions. Who's led you so far?
Well, the first meet, we had Brooke Lytle led us. Actually, her and Caitlin Robbins ran pretty much side by side all the way around the course. And I think Brooke ended up beating her out by a second. And so, Brooke was a big part. She's been, I think, a top 30 MAC performer in the conference last year. And Caitlin Robbins actually, I think she broke her femur last year and really didn't see a lot of competition. So, she kind of had some limited racing. So for her to come back and be a big part of that shows her perseverance and basically her dedication. So she got healthy last spring and she had a heck of a summer, and she's definitely vying for our number one spot. And then she was by far our number one girl at our second meet at the Redbird Invite down at Illinois State. So I think she gapped our number two girl by almost 30 seconds there. So she's running extremely strong. And like I said, that's great because we've had a girl that's been our number one, number two right there that wasn't even competing last year. So that's a positive.
You have two more events before the MAC championship. You got one coming up, the Invitational in South Bend at Notre Dame on Friday, October 1st. What are you looking to see out of the team now as you've got a couple more competitions before you get to the MAC championships, which is in late October?
Yeah, I think, we're pretty excited about the meet next weekend. The first week meet at Iowa, was pretty early for us. I mean, I'd only been here for about a week and a half. And so, I actually feel pretty fortunate because I feel like the women's team, for the most part, did a heck of a job running this summer when they could have kind of, I wouldn't say not run, but not really given a lot of effort, not knowing who was going to be the coach and kind of that letdown of all that. So I feel like the first meet of the season was definitely a rust buster. And we've got some people that ran in that race that hadn't raced for a long time. And actually, even a lot of the returners in cross country, they had two meets last year. So it wasn't a lot. So, and then at the Illinois State meet, I feel like we took a huge step forward. We had Sarah Atkins in there and she didn't really run at the first meet. So that was a big help too. And so I feel like we've had some extremely solid workouts over the last couple of weeks. We did kind of a traditional 20 times 400 with 1 minute rest on the track last night. And the whole team stayed together for the most part on that. So I think it's kind of building their confidence week in and week out. And we kind of haven't backed off much for the first couple of meets. So, next week we're planning on backing off a little bit on the weights and trying to rest up to the couple of days before and hopefully be able to perform well in a big meet on a big stage.
Sean, I'll give you the final question.
Yeah. So give us a little bit of your, you've only been here about a month, maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about your long-term goals. What are you thinking now? Having been around the squad a bit, some of those long-term goals would be great for us to know.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I think recruiting is the number one thing, just to continue to try to bring in quality student athletes for our program and try to build on that tradition. I know that the team has kind of been sort of maybe a 7th to 12th place finisher in the MAC in the past, but over the last 4 to 6 years, that's kind of changed, and we've kind of sort of not regressed through the standings in the MAC. So who's to say what will happen this year, coming in, but our goal, right now on the women's side is to be hopefully a top 4 team in the conference this year. And we're going to lose a few more this year too. And after this year. So My goal is to, bring in some numbers, hopefully get our roster size back up, and surround our current and returning returners with some depth on the backside, and hopefully bring in, 2 or 3 girls that can be front runners for us. But, we want to kind of sustain this. I think it's pretty hard in a pretty competitive conference like the MAC to always be winning it, year in and year out. But we would like to be in the discussion as a team that's going to be a contender every year, whether that's first, second, third, or fourth. But we want to continue to build on that tradition and be successful. So,
well, again, congratulations on the new gig. I know you're going to have a lot of success, and you're coming to a great program, and continued success, and hopefully that kind of build up into a great result at the MAC championships next month.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Well, Sean, as we wrap things up, we got football coming up Saturday, taking on Maine. If you can't make it out to Huskie Stadium, we'll be on the radio 1 p.m. Central Time. Bill Baker, Mark Lindo, myself will be on the network. Also on ESPN Plus. We got a lot of teams away this week. Women's tennis away, men's soccer at Green Bay on Saturday. How about their success so far? Holy mackerel, Sean. They're playing well. Golf is on the road, men's and women's tennis, as mentioned. Volleyball's on the road. But you do have a chance to see football on Saturday at Huskie Stadium, 1:30 kickoff, taking on Maine again. For NIU, get back on track a little bit. It's been a really tough schedule. We knew it would be that type of schedule. Huskies have a chance to go 500 in non-conference, then you get ready for the MAC.
There's no question at all. I think on the football side of things, taking a look at our strength of schedule through these last 3 games, we've got to be in the top 10 in the country with strength of schedule. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think we've shown and proven that we can compete with anyone in the country. With this a lack of maturity, I would say a newness to the program with some of our athletes in football, this is an eye-opener. And I think Coach Hammock has done a great job. If you would have told me that I'd be 2-2 or 3-1 in the non-con, I would have said, I'll take that. So as we kind of go through this process, yes, we would love to have better showing. I know our team would, but knocking off a Power 5 and then going through our schedule with the top 10 in the country, a strength of schedule, that's good stuff. And it's that progression, it's that process. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And our rest of our sports, they're doing a hell of a job. There's no question about it. They're doing a great job. They're competing. It's exactly where you want to be. I'm so proud of all of them.
Again, subscribe to this channel, the NIU Huskies, NIU Athletics YouTube channel right here. All the highlights, post conferences, pre-conferences, everything. The presses are all here, NIU Weekly highlights. So subscribe to this channel on YouTube, and you'll see everything coming up. And don't forget, schedules, tickets, NIUHuskies.com, everything you need. Special thanks to Dan Jackson, also Jamie Moreno, for joining us on the show. And Sean, good luck this week against Maine. Hope we get again back in the win column.
I appreciate it, and thank you very much.
For Sean T. Frazier, I'm Andy Garcia saying thank you for watching NIU Weekly. We'll see you next week. Go Huskies.